One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.
I want to ask a little bit more about that transition you mentioned, and I wrote down the word onboarding, and I think they're one and the same.
Yeah.
Give me some examples of when you talk about the difficulty internally with your own staff, and now you have new head coaches and their staffs. What are some examples of how that has been a challenge for you guys?
Yeah, people talk about the searches, but I think you're right in asking about onboarding, because that's a bigger job than as hard as conducting a national search and the competitive nature of recruiting and ultimately signing up football and men's and women's basketball coaches are. That's hard, but the onboarding is even more work. And our staff has been incredibly flexible. Folks have put in really long hours to make this happen. That's been a daunting task, and I think it would be, even if you had an entire administrative leadership team in place, to onboard a new AD, and which they've had to do, because I came in with a whole lot of questions, but then to onboard a football and both basketball staffs would be really difficult. But we also had to kind of compound that. We had a lot of transition in our administrative leadership unit, where we have a brand new SWA, a brand new leader of compliance. We're bringing our multimedia rights in-house, and we have new people leading that effort. And so some of the questions that you ask, how do we do X or how do we do Y? And the people that handled those things here aren't here anymore. And so not only were we, was our staff, tasked with, helping Coach Frost recruit a whole football staff here, but some of the systems that would normally be in place if there wasn't so much transition haven't been. And so we've had to kind of create things a little bit, and I know it's been a little bit of a frustration at times, but again, there's a blessing there. Just like the opportunity to hire new coaches, we also had the opportunity to kind of create our own systems and our own way of doing things, which has been really good.
I previously asked John Oliver at Virginia about the onboarding process for them after they hired Bronco Mendenhall as their new football head coach, and he had some interesting things to say about how the onboarding process was built around who Bronco is and how he wants to engage with the department. But do you think the onboarding of all these new individuals in your department will serve as being able to build a blueprint to a degree as you all move forward and new folks come into the fold?
Yeah, no question. And we even saw that with basketballs after we had gone through the football, there wasn't quite as many growing pains onboarding the basketball staff. So we're getting better, and there's good people that are here that had been here as well, but they were relying on other members of the leadership team that are no longer here. And so there's kind of that balancing act. If we're all focused on our own job, we probably don't know everything that our colleague is doing. And when that person's no longer here and the person that replaced him is brand new, there's an awful lot of questions that arise.
So I want to ask one more question that wasn't kind of on our script, because I think you'll have an interesting perspective on it. We hear a lot about and read a lot about coaching trees. I'm here in Louisville, so Rick Pitino's coaching tree, of course, is deep. Coach Calipari's over in Lexington has a deep, a tree of head coaches. And in your history around the industry, what staff would you point to previously? And maybe it was one of your dads at one of his stops, but what staff would you point to previously as like the most star-studded staff, or had the most number of future ADs? I know that I'm asking you kind of just off the top here, but what staff would you point to and go, oh, that staff at Duke in 2009 had these 5 people, and they were all on the same staff? Can you imagine the talent on that staff? Is there one that comes to mind for you on that front?
From an administrative standpoint?
Correct.
Yeah, I guess the one that comes to mind would be my dad's staff at Notre Dame early in his tenure there, when he had Sandy Barber and Bernard Muir and Jim Phillips, Bubba Cunningham, all on the same staff. Bill Scholl was on that staff at Marquette. There's probably others that are sitting ADs now that I'm not remembering, but that was there were some heavyweights, some people that are kind of running our industry now all on the same staff. And as a student at the time, I got a chance to really learn from some of those folks and pick their brains. But I like our staff here. I think we got a lot of future ADs here at UCF. So hopefully, if asked that question 10 years from now, I'll say this staff right here, because I think we got some really talented people that will have opportunities to do some great things in this profession right here.
Yeah, I am going to start asking that question to more ADs who I engage with on this topic, because I just think it's a fun perspective to look at.
And that's today's One Question, brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. One Question is designed to give D1 Ticker subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences. One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.